Right, now that I've got the engine and gearbox in and the rear clam where it should be, it's time to start on the exhaust system, or headers, or manifold, or silencers, whatever you care to call it, depending where you come from. So these are the two silencers supplied by AK. I had to do a bit of a modification to the rear bracket, because when I put them on with that bracket, the silencers sat about 2 inches above where they are now, and it all hit the bodywork at the back. So refab that bracket there. I felt I needed a bit more support at the back end, so I've made up yet another bracket. As you can see, it goes in there, so that gives it a good support. I've got them as low as I can and tilted back as far as I can. I've had to actually, off the end of the gearbox, you've got an edge here, we're up underneath there. I've just had to remove a 45 cut on either side of theirs to clear the silencer. Then we come back to the joint port and the 4-into-1 collectors. I didn't make the collectors, I purchased those ready-made, but made up the join port and then the ring clamp and another one going into the silencer. My welding's not that perfect, but it's good enough for me. I'm not a professional, so it's all done in stainless steel, so I did that with a TIG. And then we move on to the infamous bundle of snakes. Now what I've done here is I've 3D printed effectively 22.5 degree pieces. I'll just show you one down here. Oh, there we go, that's a 22.5, and then there's another 2 there, and they clip together, so 4 makes 90 and so on, and you can rotate them. So printed up loads of those, and I've now mocked up effectively what is the right hand side. So that's the route I'm going to be taking. Now I haven't tried to keep the lengths the same. I'm not trying for all out performance here, just something that's neat and tidy. So I've kept it as low down as possible to keep it away from the bodywork. I mean, here I've got about 2.5 inches clear from the bodywork, which is quite nice. So I've got plenty of room to put some insulation in there. So I've just done this side because I've only printed enough to do one side. So I'll fabricate this up, cut and shut pipes, again all in stainless steel. So I'll just tack those in, take it off, and then seam weld them round. So I've still got the other side to do, which is a little bit more challenging because I've got the oil tank there. So let's move on and start to make up the parts. Oh, I've tried to keep access to the spark plugs. Not the easiest thing to do, but you can just about get number 4, where are we, through there. 3 is just about there, 2's easy, and 1 is very easy. So that's where we're at. Once again, thank you for watching. Right, so there's all my various 90s and 45s. So the next task is to cut and shut that and turn it into this. Right, moved on a bit now and converted all the 3D printed bits into stainless steel, all tacked up. Changed a bit of it as I went along to make more straighter runs. The lengths are not all equal, but they're not that far off. I haven't actually measured them, but just by looking at it, it's not too bad. Obviously number 4, which is the twisty one there, has to take him back on itself just to give it a little bit of extra length. Got it away from the engine, so I've got a nice gap down there so I can get in at the spark plugs and the ignition leads. So yeah, quite pleased with the way that's gone. Obviously now have to TIG weld up all the joints and backflow so we get a good join inside. But before that, let's mock up in the plastic parts the other side, which is going to be a little bit more challenging because I've got the dry sump oil tank there and all the other gubbins. So yeah, that should be quite an interesting exercise to do that side. So there we are, half done, half to go. Once again, thanks for watching.